Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Jacob Wile, too.
And welcome to a grand return installment of Tiki's Universe. You know, Rick and Morty, Star vs. Forces of Evil, blah, 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 what else? I don't care because we're talking about DuckTales.
Woohoo.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
All right, Jacob, Disney, they teased us, man. They played with our emotions. They essentially were like, here, we know that the first episode of DuckTales is so good that we're just going to put it out on YouTube for free. But you're going to have to wait for the next batch. Oh, yeah, Jacob, it's just the drug dealer tactic. The first taste is free, and then you're going to have to wait.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a pair of episodes that launched today. We'll be covering them both individually in two different podcasts. These two podcasts shouldn't run more than, I'm guessing, 15 to 20 minutes or so. Because it's not like a big, epic 40-minute spectacular like the first episode was. But there's a lot of good stuff in both these episodes to break down. So, Dragon, Jacob, what were your initial thoughts on Day Trip of Doom?
I really liked it. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good, interesting return to form, even though it's not like it doesn't really focus on Scrooge that much. I like the character development of the nephews and Webby in this one.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to that of Donald and Beakley.
Donald and Beakley's dynamic. It's like, I don't know if the whole like them being war buddies is still a thing. I don't think so. I think that's just my own headcanon at this point. But Donald and Beakley make for an amazing pair nonetheless. They have such good comedic timing with each other.
So yeah, they're great.
And of course, let us not forget, this is our introduction to the Beagle Boys and Ma Beagle herself, played by character actress Margo Martindale of BoJack Horseman.
And many others.
Wait, she does other roles besides character actress Margo Martindale on BoJack Horseman? No, I'm just kidding. We love you, Margo. Great character actress. Very prolific career. I mostly know her from BoJack Horseman, aforementioned, but I'm sure she's done a lot of other great work. Speaking of someone else who's done a lot of other great work, Jacob, we have the voice of all of the Beagle brothers, Eric Bauza. I hope I'm saying that right.
Yep.
I like that voice. I like that name because it's kind of like Bowser from Mario, but kind of gangster, like Bowser. Anyway.
Yep. He's done quite a bit, like ranging from a lot of bit parts to several even main roles, and like he did Stimpy, an adult party cartoon, of which I mean, interesting role by the way. But he also has done a lot of other like smaller bit parts, and including a big role as Tiger Claw in the new Ninja Turtles series.
Mm-hmm. And Adam Warlock, look who it is. It's Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
He plays Adam Warlock in the Guardians of the Galaxy show. Also, he played Luke Skywalker in Lego Star Wars, Droid Tales. Let's see. He had additional voices in Phineas and Ferb, Gravity Falls, Star vs. Force of Evil. This guy's all over the place, so I just want to give him a shout out. He's a very prolific voice actor. Oh, yeah. All right, so I'm sorry, I have Dragon on the mind. I miss you, Dragon. He's at a Comic-Con, Jacob.
Nice.
And so it's like it's been a couple days since I've talked to him, and so it's like my mind is like wandering towards him, like Dragon. Anyways, so Jacob, I think what the beyond we basically have two storylines going on here. We have Scrooge, we have Beakley and Donald, and then we also have Webby getting along with the nephews. And I continue to just love this Webby character and think she's one of the best elements of this new show.
Yeah, she is a pretty interesting character in this one.
Yeah, she's really, really well written, well realized. Her character is really fleshed out.
She plays off the nephews really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Much like so. I mean, it goes without saying, but it's like so infinitely better than the '80s version of this character that it's not even funny at this point.
Definitely different, that's for sure.
Yeah. Just taking her games like way too seriously with the darts and the booby traps and everything, and just having like elaborate tragic backstories for her characters in pretend time.
It's like, I told you my guys, what's your backstory? I have a dart gun?
Yeah, that's all fun stuff.
She takes these things way too seriously.
But I like that about her character, and I like that they're continuing to evolve her personality, where this is a girl who has grown up sheltered from other kids. And so Huey, Dewey, and Louie are really the first friends she's had. And she's lived this like kind of like far out, like cool life living in McDuck Manor with her kick-ass nanny, who's also, or granny, I guess, who's also a spy. We got that bomb dropped on us, Jacob.
Yep.
I love how casually she mentions it too.
Yeah, Donald's like suddenly uneasy around her.
Oh, simple, my dear. I'm a spy.
And Donald's like, still like laughing, but also uneasy.
I don't know.
I love their dynamic throughout this.
Okay, I'm gonna say I think my theory that they were in the war together, I'm gonna throw out. However, I'm not going to throw out the fact that Beagle probably has some sort of military background.
Well, considering she's a spy, she was a spy.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely like that they brought Beagle and Donald together because, I kind of saw that even though they didn't get much screen time in the first episode together, I kind of saw the cool parallels between the two of them. And I'm glad that we got that in full force this episode.
And it's kind of interesting that we didn't see Scrooge a lot in this one either.
No, we didn't see Scrooge a lot in this, but we did see him a lot in the next episode. So,
it's pretty interesting that they're not shifting the focus away from him for some of these episodes.
Well, I think we kind of talked about this in the first podcast we did, Jacob. But I think it's really interesting. Like, for example, in the next episode, Huey is just nowhere to be seen. Like, Dewey has a subplot, Louie has a subplot. But Huey is just in the background, like nowhere.
I don't think in the next episode he even had a speaking line.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think that just kind of speaks to the fact that this show really wants to establish all its players, and of course, we're getting more people that we're familiar with. Oh my God, the next episode 3, ends with a freaking huge cliffhanger that I can't wait to talk about. Again, talking about these 2 episodes, it's kind of hard not to just bleed our conversation into the other one. So we're trying our best not to do that, folks.
Well, what can we say about this one? It's
I just love Webby's enthusiasm. It's just very, very contagious.
I like how the beginning came around kind of full circle for the end to defeat the Beagle Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Really. Like Chekhov's gun, it's very good storytelling.
Oh yeah. So what do you think of the Chuck E. Cheese-esque location they visit in this episode on the titular day trip?
It's fun as if it's in the zone, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is very much in the zone.
Fun zone, fun where fun is in the zone.
I like how they include a lot of mundane details about Chuck E. Cheese places, like the fact that you can't get in without a kid, or the fact that kids steal free water cups all the time and fill it with soda. All that's it kind of it's little fun, little kid details that really flesh out the world.
And let's not point out the fact that that's also point out the fact that Webby was almost ready to kill the manager.
Oh.
It's like Dewey was it's like Louie was telling her to stop it by slicing cutting out his neck, stop, and she raised a fork. It's she was full on ready to kill that guy.
Yeah.
Unless I'm interpreting that wrong.
I'd honestly have to go back and rewatch. Like I said, I've only had time to watch these episodes once a piece, so I'm sure I'll have more to say once we talk about more episodes. But
well, she's ready to go full commando at the guy, attack him with a fork.
All right, I guess the only other thing we need to talk about is the Beagle Boys and Ma Beagle. So, what do you think of them overall?
I really like their. like their introduction. I mean, I like they were hinted at in the beginning, with that newspaper, and how they're. I really like their personalities in this one, like how they're all very vastly different. Like even though voiced by the same person, you can never even tell.
I like how they continue the vibe of being voiced by the same person, and yet it's very clear this guy is going out of his way to make all three of them different.
Yeah, like that. Kudos to the talent of Eric Bauza there.
Oh yeah, Eric Bauza.
Bauza.
Again, if we're saying that wrong, folks, please correct us. I just think it sounds.
I believe it is. I believe that's how it's pronounced, Bauza.
Bauza. All right. Anyways, so Martindale as Ma Beagle.
I mean, I can definitely see her. She plays it very well. You can
I'm not going to say she's like perfect, like chillingly, goosebump-inducingly good casting like David Tennant is as Scrooge. But I do like how she's very much doing her own thing with the role because, of course, the late great June Foray, one of the Mount Rushmores of voice acting legends, voiced Ma Beagle in the original cartoon, and no one can replicate her voice. So I like how Martindale, she doesn't even try. She definitely gives this character a unique flavor all her own, and props to her for that.
I think you can sense both the comedic and menacing vibes from her as well.
Oh yeah. All right.
I mean, though, hopefully they're not too. I just hope they learn from this and not too easily thwarted next time.
Not do what? I'm sorry?
Not too easily thwarted next time.
Well, I mean, that's always kind of been like my problem with the Beagle Boys in general is that they seem kind of, especially in the original cartoon, was they were just so easily defeated all the time to the point where if it was a Beagle Boys episode, it'd be inherently less interesting to me because, they're just like so incompetent. Whereas good villains like Magica and, and Flintheart are actually like, on Scrooge's level or above Scrooge's level in the case of Magica.
So hopefully we can, like I said, hopefully when in this case they can prove to be more of a threat.
You know what I'm hoping for is I'm hoping they kind of go that whole, like it seems today like we have a real obsession, like a Breaking Bad style obsession with like, blue collar and, like blue collar criminals. So I kind of hope they do that. Like I kind of hope they explore like the blue collar criminal side of the Beagle family and maybe do sort of like, I'm not saying do a Breaking Bad parody, but, do something that's sort of like inspired by that genre that Breaking Bad kind of defined.
Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. I mean,
it'd be a different.
They do have hints of like the seedy underbelly of Duckburg, so that's something.
I mean, at the very least, I like how, the Beagle brothers, like we said, all have different personalities, and there seems to be a power structure within the three of them, so that's all good.
Yeah, and the fact that their mother leads them all.
Mm-hmm. Of course, as she should.
He's like, how can something so brilliant give birth to such idiots? Or create such idiots? I think she's talking about you.
All right, Jacob. Well, I think we're going to have a lot more to say about the next episode, The Great Dime Chase, because that actually has a lot of like really important plot stuff going on. So, anything else to say about this one?
No, I just thought it was like probably not the strongest of the episodes we've seen so far, but with only 3, that's kind of easy to say.
Look, at this point, with only 3 episodes, I'm not going to get into my ranking game yet, okay? Not to mention the first episode was like clearly like almost like a TV movie style quality, so...
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun, and most importantly, I think, should we hit on any more of the Donald and Beakley stuff? I kind of feel like we glossed over that.
Yeah. Should we talk about it a bit more? I mean, we talked about their dynamics and everything.
I don't know, just some of the smaller details and their back and forth. Like I love when Donald gets all the generators and then Beakley's watching and she's just like, he is so stupid. And of course, like the symphony of destruction that
the funny part was like, he's going to get himself killed.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's the line. I'm sorry, that's the line. And then
she chuckles happily, but like, oh yeah, that was great.
Like all the generators start to fall into the. First of all, I love how Donald's houseboat is in the McDuck pool.
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, of course, we get like a Phantasmic style, like fire on water with the pool and the generators and kind of a big action scene. Really good stuff.
And that's stuff that can only happen to Donald.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, I think we've kind of worn out this episode in terms of discussion. I think we've said enough. Like I said, I think the two big points of this are, A, I really like how Webby is a central focus, and I think they're just going leaps and bounds to prove that Webby is a far better character than she was in the original show, and props to the writers for that. B, Donald and Beakley. Like, let's just get more of those two. I really think those two have a history. I'm really fascinated by their dynamic, and their dynamic is just filled with great comedic timing. So I want to see more of those two on screen. All right, any final thoughts on your end, Jacob?
No, nothing from me.
All right. Well, see you later, guys. We're going to jump right into the next podcast, which will be up very soon. And until then, woohoo!